Chapter 1. Early Life. Bill Nye was born on a cold November day in 1955 in Washington, D.C. His full name was William Sanford Nye, but everyone called him Bill. He was the youngest of 3 children in the Nye family. His father, Edwin Darby Nye, was a World War II veteran. His mother, Jacqueline Jenkins Nye, was a codebreaker during the war. They were both very smart and always encouraged their children to be curious and ask questions. Bill grew up in a lively neighborhood where there were always children playing outside. The streets were lined with tall trees, and the houses all looked similar, with neat gardens in front. Bill loved playing with his friends, but he was different from other kids. While his friends played games, Bill often wondered how things worked. He would look at the sky and ask, "Why is the sky blue?" He would watch birds fly and ask, "How do birds fly?" From a young age, Bill was fascinated by the world around him. His parents noticed this and always tried to answer his questions. If they didn't know the answer, they would look it up together in books. This made Bill love reading and learning even more. One day, when Bill was about 6 years old, he received a special gift from his parents. It was a magnifying glass. Bill was thrilled. He used it to look at everything more closely. He looked at leaves, insects, rocks, and even the fabric of his clothes. The magnifying glass opened a whole new world for him. He could see the tiny details that most people missed. In school, Bill was a good student. He liked math and science the most. His teachers noticed that he was very curious and always asked interesting questions. Bill's favorite place in school was the library. He loved reading books about science and nature. One day, he found a book about space and rockets. He was amazed by the pictures of astronauts and the stories about space travel. From that moment, Bill dreamed of becoming an astronaut. Bill's father played a big role in encouraging his interest in science. Edwin Nye was also curious about the world and loved to invent things. He had built a sundial in their backyard, and he taught Bill how to use it to tell time. Bill was fascinated by how the position of the sun could be used to measure time. This sparked his interest in astronomy. During the summer, Bill's family often went on camping trips. They would drive to the mountains, set up a tent, and spend the nights under the stars. Bill loved these trips because he could explore nature and learn new things. His father taught him how to find the North Star and how to identify different constellations. Bill would lie on the ground, looking up at the vast sky, and dream about exploring space. When Bill was about 9 years old, something happened that changed his life forever. His mother gave him a chemistry set for his birthday. The set included test tubes, chemicals, and a small instruction book. Bill was ecstatic. He spent hours in the basement, conducting experiments and mixing chemicals. Sometimes he would make a mess, but his parents didn't mind. They knew that Bill was learning and having fun. One evening, Bill decided to try a new experiment. He carefully measured out some baking soda and vinegar, following the instructions in the book. When he mixed them together, the mixture started to fizz and bubble. Bill watched in amazement as the liquid overflowed from the test tube. He had just created a chemical reaction. This simple experiment made Bill realize that science could be exciting and fun. Bill's interest in science continued to grow. He joined the science club at school and participated in science fairs. He loved working on projects and presenting his findings to others. One year, he built a model of the solar system for the science fair. He used balls of different sizes to represent the planets and painted them in bright colours. He explained to the judges how the planets moved around the sun. Bill's project won first prize, and he was very proud. As Bill grew older, he faced challenges like everyone else. Sometimes he found math problems difficult, and he would get frustrated. But he never gave up. He would work hard, ask for help, and keep trying until he understood. His determination paid off, and he became very good at math and science. Bill's parents always supported his dreams. They encouraged him to follow his passion and never stop learning. They taught him the importance of hard work, curiosity, and perseverance. Bill knew that he wanted to do something great with his life. He wanted to explore, discover, and share his love for science with others. In high school, Bill continued to excel in his studies. He was known as the science guy among his friends. He loved to share interesting facts and explain scientific concepts to anyone who would listen. He enjoyed making people laugh with his funny explanations and jokes. One day, Bill's science teacher, Mr. Johnson, pulled him aside after class. "Bill," he said, "you have a real talent for explaining science. Have you ever thought about becoming a teacher or a scientist?" Bill thought about Mr. Johnson's words. He realized that he loved making science fun and understandable for others. Maybe he could combine his love for science with his talent for explaining things. He decided that he wanted to pursue a career where he could do just that. After graduating from high school, Bill was accepted into Cornell University. He was excited to study mechanical engineering, a field that combined his love for science and problem-solving. He couldn't wait to learn more and start his journey towards a career in science. As Bill Nye packed his bags and prepared to leave for college, he thought about all the people who had supported him along the way. His parents, his teachers, and his friends had all played a part in shaping his dreams. Bill knew that this was just the beginning of his adventure. He was ready to work hard, learn new things, and one day share his love for science with the world. And so, with a heart full of curiosity and a mind eager to explore, Bill Nye set off on a path that would lead him to become one of the most beloved science educators of our time. His journey was just beginning, and he couldn't wait to see where it would take him. Bill Nye's early life was full of curiosity, discovery, and encouragement. His love for science, nurtured by his family and teachers, set the foundation for his future. Through hard work and perseverance, Bill turned his dreams into reality, inspiring countless others along the way. Chapter 2: Education. Bill Nye's educational journey began at a prestigious school in Washington, D.C. called Sidwell Friends School. Sidwell Friends was known for its excellent teachers and strong emphasis on academics. Bill was excited to attend, but he also felt a little nervous. He wondered if he would fit in and if he could keep up with the other students. On his first day, Bill walked into the large brick building with his backpack slung over his shoulder. The hallways were filled with students talking and laughing. Bill found his classroom and sat down at a desk near the front. His teacher, Mrs. Watson, welcomed the class and began the lesson. Mrs. Watson quickly noticed Bill's curiosity and eagerness to learn. He always raised his hand to ask questions, especially during science and math lessons. One day, she brought in a small telescope to show the class how to observe the stars. Bill was fascinated. He asked if he could stay after class to look through the telescope some more. "Of course, Bill," Mrs. Watson said with a smile. I can see you have a real passion for science. Bill's interest in science and math grew with each passing year. He loved learning how things worked and solving complex problems. He enjoyed conducting experiments, whether in the classroom or at home. His parents supported his interests by providing him with books and science kits. During middle school, Bill's favourite subject was math. He enjoyed the challenge of solving difficult equations and understanding new concepts. His math teacher, Mr. Anderson, noticed Bill's talent and encouraged him to join the math club. The math club met after school, and the students worked on advanced problems and competed in math competitions. Bill thrived in the math club. He enjoyed working with other students who shared his passion for numbers. They often participated in math competitions, and Bill's team won several awards. These experiences helped Bill develop his problem-solving skills and boosted his confidence. When Bill entered high school at Sidwell Friends, he continued to excel in science and math. He took advanced courses in both subjects and spent countless hours in the library reading about the latest scientific discoveries. He was particularly interested in physics and engineering. One day, during a physics class, Bill's teacher, Mr. Thompson, demonstrated how a simple machine worked. He used a lever and a fulcrum to lift a heavy object. Bill watched in awe as the heavy object was lifted with minimal effort. "How does it work?" Bill asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. "It's all about mechanical advantage," Mr. Thompson explained. "By using a lever, you can multiply your force to lift heavier objects." Bill was fascinated by the concept of mechanical advantage. He began to think about how machines and tools could be designed to make work easier. This interest in how things worked led him to consider a career in engineering. During his senior year, Bill applied to several universities. He was particularly interested in Cornell University because it had a strong engineering program. After submitting his application and waiting anxiously for several weeks, Bill received an acceptance letter from Cornell. He was thrilled. With his acceptance to Cornell University, Bill felt one step closer to achieving his dreams. He packed his bags and travelled to Ithaca, New York, where Cornell was located. The campus was beautiful, with old brick buildings and large green spaces. At Cornell, Bill decided to major in mechanical engineering. He was excited to learn more about how machines worked and how they could be designed to solve real-world problems. His classes were challenging, but Bill was determined to succeed. He spent long hours studying, attending lectures, and working on projects in the engineering lab. One of Bill's favourite classes was Introduction to Mechanical Engineering, taught by Professor Carl Sagan. Professor Sagan was a famous astronomer and science communicator, and his lectures were always engaging and inspiring. He often talked about the importance of curiosity and the joy of discovery. In one memorable lecture, Professor Sagan explained how engineers and scientists work together to explore space. He talked about the challenges of designing spacecraft and the excitement of discovering new planets and stars. Bill was captivated by Professor Sagan's stories. He realized that engineering was not just about building machines, it was about using creativity and innovation to explore the unknown. This realization fueled Bill's passion for engineering even more. In addition to his classes, Bill joined several student organizations at Cornell. He became a member of the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME, and participated in engineering competitions. One of the competitions involved designing and building a small robotic vehicle. Bill and his team worked tirelessly on their design, and their vehicle won first place in the competition. These experiences at Cornell helped Bill develop important skills, such as teamwork, problem-solving, and critical thinking. He learned how to work with others to achieve a common goal, and how to approach complex problems with creativity and persistence. During his time at Cornell, Bill also completed internships at engineering companies. These internships provided him with valuable hands-on experience and a deeper understanding of the engineering field. He worked on projects involving the design and testing of mechanical systems, and he learned how to apply theoretical knowledge to real-world problems. One summer, Bill interned at Boeing, a major aerospace company. He worked on a team that was developing new aircraft technologies. This experience was particularly exciting for Bill because it combined his interests in engineering and space exploration. He learned about the challenges of designing aircraft that could withstand extreme conditions and operate efficiently. As Bill approached graduation, he began to think about his future career. He knew that he wanted to use his engineering skills to make a positive impact on the world. He considered various options, including working in the aerospace industry, pursuing research, or even teaching. In his final semester, Bill had the opportunity to present his senior project. He had designed a new type of energy-efficient motor. His presentation was a success, and his professors were impressed by his innovative approach and thorough understanding of the subject. Graduating from Cornell University was a proud moment for Bill. He had worked hard and overcome many challenges to achieve his goals. As he walked across the stage to receive his diploma, he felt a sense of accomplishment and excitement for the future. Bill's education at Sidwell Friends School and Cornell University had provided him with a strong foundation in science and engineering. It had also instilled in him a love for learning and a desire to explore and discover new things. He knew that his journey was just beginning and that there were many more exciting adventures ahead. With his education and experiences, Bill Nye was ready to take on the world and make his mark as an engineer, scientist, and educator. He looked forward to sharing his knowledge and passion for science with others and inspiring the next generation of scientists and engineers. Bill Nye's educational journey was marked by curiosity, hard work, and a passion for science and engineering. From his early days at Sidwell Friends School to his time at Cornell University, Bill's love for learning and discovery set the stage for his future achievements. Chapter 3: Engineering Career. After graduating from Cornell University with a degree in mechanical engineering, Bill Nye was ready to start his career. He was excited to put his knowledge into practice and work on real engineering projects. His first job was at Boeing Corporation, one of the largest aerospace companies in the world. Boeing was known for building airplanes, and Bill was thrilled to be part of such an important industry. Bill's first day at Boeing was filled with excitement and a little bit of nervousness. He walked into the large office building in Seattle, Washington, and was greeted by his new manager, Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards was an experienced engineer with a friendly smile. He showed Bill around the office and introduced him to the team. Bill was assigned to the group that worked on the Boeing 747, one of the most famous airplanes in the world. The Boeing 747, often called the jumbo jet, was a massive aircraft that could carry hundreds of passengers. It was an engineering marvel, But it also had many complex systems that needed constant improvement. Bill was eager to learn and contribute to these projects. He knew that working at Boeing would give him the opportunity to solve challenging problems and make a difference. One of Bill's first assignments was to help develop a hydraulic pressure resonance suppressor for the 747. The hydraulic system was crucial for controlling the airplane's flaps, landing gear, and other important parts. However, sometimes the hydraulic system experienced pressure surges that could cause vibrations and affect the airplane's performance. Bill's task was to help design a device that would reduce these pressure surges and make the system more stable. Bill started by studying the existing hydraulic system. He spent hours looking at diagrams, reading technical manuals, and talking to experienced engineers. He learned that the pressure surges were caused by rapid changes in the hydraulic fluid flow. To solve this problem, he needed to find a way to smooth out these changes and reduce the vibrations. One evening, while Bill was working late in the lab, he had an idea. He remembered a principle he had learned in one of his engineering classes about how shock absorbers worked in cars. Shock absorbers used a fluid-filled cylinder to dampen vibrations and provide a smoother ride. Bill wondered if a similar concept could be applied to the hydraulic system of the 747. The next day, Bill discussed his idea with Mr. Edwards and the rest of the team. They were intrigued by the concept and encouraged Bill to build a prototype. Bill spent the next few weeks designing and testing different versions of the suppressor. He used computer simulations to model the hydraulic system and predict how his device would perform. After several iterations, Bill finally built a working prototype. It was a small cylinder filled with hydraulic fluid and a special valve that could adjust the flow rate. Bill and his team installed the prototype in a test rig that simulated the hydraulic system of the 747. They ran a series of tests to measure the pressure surges and vibrations. To their delight, the prototype worked better than they had expected. The pressure surges were significantly reduced, and the vibrations were much lower. Bill's device had successfully smoothed out the hydraulic fluid flow and stabilized the system. The team was thrilled with the results, and Mr. Edwards praised Bill for his innovative thinking and hard work. The next step was to test the suppressor on an actual Boeing 747. Bill and his team worked with the maintenance crew to install the device on one of the airplanes. They conducted a series of flight tests to see how the suppressor performed under real conditions. The tests were a success, and the pilots reported that the hydraulic system was more stable and responsive. Bill's contribution to the project was a major achievement. His suppressor design was implemented in the Boeing 747 fleet, improving the performance and safety of the airplanes. Bill felt proud of what he had accomplished. He had used his engineering skills to solve a real-world problem and make a positive impact. Working at Boeing taught Bill many valuable lessons. He learned the importance of teamwork and collaboration. Engineering projects were complex and required input from many different people with different expertise. Bill enjoyed working with his colleagues, sharing ideas, and learning from each other. Bill also learned the importance of perseverance and creativity. Not every idea worked on the first try, and sometimes he had to go back to the drawing board and start over. But he never gave up. He kept experimenting, testing and refining his designs until he found a solution that worked. While Bill was deeply involved in his engineering work, he also found time to pursue his other interests. He continued to perform stand-up comedy in the evenings, combining his love for science with his talent for making people laugh. He often used humor to explain complex scientific concepts in a way that was easy to understand. One evening, Bill was performing at a local comedy club when he noticed a familiar face in the audience. It was Ross Schaefer, the host of a popular television show called Almost Live. After the show, Ross approached Bill and told him how much he enjoyed his performance. He invited Bill to be a guest on Almost Live and do a science segment. Bill was thrilled by the opportunity. He prepared a short segment where he used everyday objects to demonstrate scientific principles. His segment was a hit, and the audience loved it. Ross invited Bill to become a regular guest on the show, and Bill gladly accepted. Balancing his engineering career at Boeing and his television appearances was challenging, but Bill managed to do both. He loved sharing his passion for science with a wider audience and inspiring others to learn and explore. His segments on Almost Live became very popular, and people started calling him Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill's early career at Boeing was a time of growth and discovery. He honed his engineering skills, solved important problems, and made lasting contributions to the aerospace industry. At the same time, he found a way to share his love for science with the public through television. This unique combination of engineering and science communication set the stage for the next exciting chapter in Bill Nye's life. Bill Nye's engineering career at Boeing was marked by creativity, hard work, and a passion for solving problems. His innovative work on the hydraulic pressure resonance suppressor for the 747 showcased his ability to apply engineering principles to real-world challenges. At the same time, his budding career as a science communicator allowed him to share his love for science with a broader audience, earning him the nickname Bill Nye the Science Guy. Chapter 4. Comedy and Television Beginnings. Bill Nye had always enjoyed making people laugh. Even during his school days, he loved telling jokes and making his friends smile. While working as an engineer at Boeing, Bill often used humor to explain complicated concepts to his colleagues. He found that laughter made learning more enjoyable. This natural talent for comedy would soon open a new door in his life. One evening, after a long day at work, Bill decided to visit a local comedy club. He watched in awe as comedians took the stage, making the audience laugh with their clever jokes and funny stories. Bill thought to himself, "I can do that too." He felt a strong urge to try stand-up comedy. The idea of combining humor with his love for science excited him. Bill started writing jokes and practicing his routine. He wanted to share his passion for science in a way that was entertaining and easy to understand. His first performance was at an open mic night. Bill stepped onto the small stage, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The bright lights shone in his eyes, and the room was filled with the quiet murmur of the audience. He began his routine with a simple joke about physics. To his delight, the audience laughed. Encouraged by their response, Bill continued with more jokes, each one blending humor with scientific facts. By the end of his performance, the audience was clapping and cheering. Bill felt an incredible rush of happiness. He had found a new way to connect with people and share his love for science. Bill continued performing at comedy clubs in the evenings. He refined his act, learning what worked and what didn't. His unique style of combining comedy with science made him stand out. People started to remember him as the funny guy who talked about science. Bill's performances caught the attention of Ross Schaefer, the host of a popular local television show called Almost Live. Almost Live was a comedy sketch show that aired on weekends. Ross Schaefer was always looking for new talent to feature on the show. After seeing one of Bill's performances, Ross approached him and said, "You've got a real talent, Bill. How would you like to be a guest on Almost Live?" Bill was thrilled by the offer. This was a chance to reach a wider audience and share his love for science with even more people. He agreed to appear on the show. For his first segment, Bill decided to perform a science experiment live on air. He wanted to show the audience that science could be fun and interesting. The day of the taping, Bill arrived at the studio early. He set up his experiment, which involved mixing baking soda and vinegar to create a fizzy reaction. When the cameras started rolling, Bill explained the science behind the experiment in a simple and engaging way. He added a few jokes to keep things light and fun. The audience loved it. Bill's segment was a hit, and Ross Schaefer invited him to come back for more appearances. Bill became a regular guest on Almost Live. He did a variety of science experiments, each one more exciting than the last. He always explained the scientific principles behind the experiments in a way that was easy to understand. As Bill's popularity grew, the producers of Almost Live decided to give him his own segment called Bill Nye the Science Guy. In these segments, Bill continued to perform experiments and explain scientific concepts, but with more time to explore each topic. His enthusiasm and humour made science accessible and enjoyable for viewers of all ages. One of the most memorable segments was when Bill explained how airplanes fly. He used simple models and props to show how the shape of the wings creates lift. He even dressed up as a pilot to add a touch of humour. The segment was both educational and entertaining, and it helped viewers understand a complex topic in a fun way. Bill's success on Almost Live opened up new opportunities for him. He was invited to speak at schools and events, where he continued to share his passion for science. He enjoyed inspiring young people to be curious and explore the world around them. His unique blend of comedy and science made him a beloved figure in the community. Despite his growing fame, Bill continued to work at Boeing. He enjoyed his engineering job and valued the experience he gained from solving real-world problems. Balancing his engineering career with his television appearances was challenging, but Bill managed to do both. He was determined to make a positive impact through both his engineering work and his science communication. Bill's journey into comedy and television taught him many valuable lessons. He learned the importance of clear communication and how humour could be a powerful tool for teaching. He discovered that people were more likely to engage with and remember scientific concepts when they were presented in a fun and entertaining way. Through Almost Live, Bill Nye found his calling. He realized that his true passion was to educate and inspire others, especially young people. He wanted to show them that science was not just a subject in school, but a way of understanding the world. He believed that everyone could be a scientist if they were curious and willing to learn. As Bill's segments on Almost Live continued to gain popularity, he began to dream bigger. He envisioned a show entirely dedicated to making science fun and accessible for everyone. He wanted to create a program that would reach children and adults alike, sparking their interest in science and encouraging them to ask questions. With this dream in mind, Bill started working on ideas for his own science show. He knew it would be a lot of work, but he was excited about the possibilities. He believed that with the right mix of humor, creativity, and educational content, he could create something truly special. Bill's journey from engineering to comedy and television was an unexpected but fulfilling path. It allowed him to combine his love for science with his talent for making people laugh. He found a unique way to educate and entertain, inspiring countless individuals to explore the wonders of science. As Bill Nye looked towards the future, he was filled with hope and determination. He was ready to take the next step and turn his dream into reality. He knew that with hard work and perseverance, he could continue to make a positive impact on the world through the power of science and humor. Bill Nye's venture into comedy and television was a turning point in his career. By blending humor with science, he found a unique way to educate and inspire. His appearances on Almost Live laid the foundation for his future success as Bill Nye the Science Guy, proving that learning can be both fun and engaging. Chapter 5. The Birth of Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye's journey from an engineer and part-time comedian to a beloved TV personality was nothing short of remarkable. His appearances on Almost Live had shown him that there was a real hunger for fun and engaging science education. Encouraged by the positive response, Bill began to dream of something bigger, his own educational television show dedicated entirely to science. One evening, after another successful segment on Almost Live, Bill sat down with his friend and producer, Jim McKenna. They talked about the possibility of creating a new kind of science show, one that was both educational and entertaining. They wanted to inspire kids to love science as much as Bill did. As they brainstormed ideas, they knew they needed a catchy title. That's when the name Bill Nye the Science Guy was born. Bill and Jim began working on a pilot episode. They wanted to show how exciting and accessible science could be. The format of the show was simple, yet effective. Each episode would focus on a single scientific concept or question, like, why is the sky blue? Or, how do plants grow? Bill would use everyday objects and simple experiments to explain these concepts. The goal was to make science fun and easy to understand. They also decided to include short, funny segments to keep the viewers engaged. These segments featured Bill in various silly costumes, acting out different scenarios to illustrate scientific principles. They wanted to make sure the show was not only educational, but also entertaining enough to keep kids interested. With the pilot episode ready, Bill and Jim approached local TV stations. At first, it was tough. Many producers didn't believe that a science show could be entertaining, but Bill and Jim didn't give up. They believed in their idea and kept pushing forward. Finally, a local PBS station decided to give them a chance. They agreed to air the pilot episode to see how it would be received. The pilot episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy aired on a Saturday morning. Bill was nervous but excited. He hoped that kids and parents would enjoy the show. As the episode began, Bill introduced himself with his signature line, "Hi, I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy." He then launched into a fun and informative explanation of how air pressure works, using balloons, a vacuum cleaner, and even a marshmallow. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Kids loved the show, and parents appreciated the educational content. The pilot episode's success convinced the PBS station to greenlight a full season. Bill and Jim were ecstatic. They quickly got to work on producing more episodes. The first season of Bill Nye the Science Guy covered a wide range of topics, from gravity and electricity to plants and weather. Each episode followed the same format. Bill would introduce the topic, conduct experiments, and explain the science behind them in a fun and engaging way. The show also featured catchy songs that helped reinforce the scientific concepts. One of the most popular segments was the Did You Know section, where Bill shared interesting and surprising science facts. For example, he would explain how much water a human body contains or how far a sneeze can travel. These fun facts kept viewers hooked and eager to learn more. Another hit segment was Way Cool Scientist, which featured real scientists talking about their work. These segments showed kids that science wasn't just something you learned in school. It was a career that could be exciting and fulfilling. Bill wanted to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers, and these segments helped show that anyone could pursue a career in science. As the show gained popularity, it was picked up by more PBS stations across the country. Soon, Bill Nye the Science Guy was airing nationwide. The show's catchy theme song, with its energetic chant of Bill, 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 Bill Nye the Science Guy, became instantly recognizable. Kids sang it in schoolyards, and teachers played it in classrooms. One of the reasons for the show's success was its ability to make complex scientific ideas easy to understand. Bill's enthusiasm and humor made learning fun. He used simple language and everyday examples to explain things like the water cycle, magnetism, and the human body. The visual experiments and demonstrations helped reinforce the concepts, making them memorable. The show also had a positive impact on science education. Teachers loved using Bill Nye the Science Guy in their classrooms because it made science lessons more engaging. Bill received letters from students and teachers thanking him for making science fun. These letters motivated him to keep working hard and creating more episodes. Bill Nye's approach to science education was also groundbreaking. He believed that anyone could understand and enjoy science if it was presented in the right way. He made sure that each episode was packed with energy, humor, and hands-on learning. This approach resonated with viewers of all ages, not just kids. Bill Nye the Science Guy ran for 5 successful seasons, producing nearly 100 episodes. The show won numerous awards, including several Daytime Emmy Awards. It became a staple in science education, reaching millions of viewers and inspiring countless young minds to explore the wonders of science. Bill Nye's journey from a Boeing engineer to a beloved science educator was driven by his passion for making science accessible and fun. He showed that with creativity, humor, and dedication, it was possible to inspire a love for learning in people of all ages. Bill Nye the Science Guy became more than just a TV show. It became a cultural phenomenon that left a lasting impact on science education. As the show came to an end, Bill looked back on the incredible journey with gratitude and pride. He had achieved his dream of making science fun and accessible, and he had inspired a generation of young scientists and engineers. But Bill knew his work wasn't done. He was determined to continue sharing his love for science and finding new ways to educate and inspire. Bill Nye the Science Guy had proven that science could be entertaining and that anyone could understand it. Bill's innovative approach to education had changed the way people thought about science, making it cool, fun, and exciting. And so, with his signature bow tie and boundless enthusiasm, Bill Nye set out on new adventures, ready to keep inspiring the world with the wonders of science. Bill Nye's transition from comedy to creating Bill Nye the Science Guy was a journey filled with creativity, persistence, and a passion for education. The show's format, blending humour with hands-on science, captured the hearts of millions and became a significant force in science education. Bill's innovative approach proved that learning could be both fun and impactful, leaving a lasting legacy in the world of educational television. Chapter 6. Impact of Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy quickly became a beloved television show, not just for its entertainment value, but for its educational impact as well. The show made science exciting and accessible to children, parents, and teachers alike. Its influence spread far beyond the TV screen, touching lives and inspiring a new generation of scientists and educators. One afternoon, in a small classroom in Texas, a science teacher named Mrs. Hernandez was preparing her lesson. She had noticed that her students often lost interest during traditional lectures. They found the topics difficult and boring. Mrs. Hernandez decided to try something new. She wheeled in a TV and put on an episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy. The students watched as Bill Nye, with his energetic personality and funny antics, explained the water cycle. He used a simple experiment with a plastic bag, some water, and a bit of heat to show how water evaporates, condenses, and falls as rain. The kids were fascinated. They laughed at Bill's jokes and watched intently as he demonstrated each step of the cycle. After the episode ended, Mrs. Hernandez noticed a remarkable change in her students. They were eager to discuss what they had seen and ask questions about the water cycle. The visual and hands-on approach of the show had sparked their curiosity and made the concept clear and memorable. From that day on, Mrs. Hernandez often used Bill Nye the Science Guy episodes to complement her lessons. Her students' interest in science grew, and their understanding of the topics deepened. Bill's show didn't just make a difference in classrooms, it also reached children at home. Sarah, a young girl from Ohio, watched Bill Nye the Science Guy every week with her little brother. Sarah loved science, but she often felt alone in her passion. Her friends were more interested in sports and fashion. Watching Bill Nye made her feel connected to a larger community of science enthusiasts. One episode about space particularly captured Sarah's imagination. Bill explained how astronauts travel to the moon and what they do there. He showed footage of moon landings and talked about the future of space exploration. Sarah was amazed. She decided that she wanted to become an astronaut. Inspired by the show, she started reading books about space, building model rockets, and even visiting a local observatory with her parents. Years later, Sarah graduated with a degree in aerospace engineering and joined NASA. She often credited Bill Nye the Science Guy for sparking her interest in space and guiding her career path. She even wrote a letter to Bill, thanking him for the inspiration. Bill was delighted to hear from her and proud to know that his show had played a part in her journey. Bill Nye the Science Guy also made a significant impact on popular culture. It became a common reference in schools, homes, and even among celebrities. Bill's iconic theme song, with its catchy chant of "Bill, Bill, 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 Bill Nye the Science Guy," was recognized by people of all ages. The show's influence extended into movies, TV shows, and even music videos, where references to Bill Nye and his experiments could often be found. One memorable story came from a famous scientist, Dr. Jane Goodall, known for her groundbreaking work with chimpanzees. She once shared how her young grandchildren loved watching Bill Nye the Science Guy. They would gather around the TV and excitedly watch Bill's episodes, learning about everything from ecosystems to animal behavior. Dr. Goodall appreciated how the show made science fun and approachable, even for very young children. Bill's approach to science education was revolutionary. He believed that anyone could understand science if it was presented in a fun and engaging way. He used humor, simple experiments, and clear explanations to break down complex concepts. This approach resonated with viewers of all ages, making science less intimidating and more accessible. The show also had a lasting impact on teachers and educators. Many teachers, like Mrs. Hernandez, found that using Bill Nye the Science Guy in their classrooms helped make their lessons more engaging. Bill's experiments and demonstrations provided a visual and interactive way to learn, which helped students grasp difficult concepts more easily. For example, Mr. Lee, a high school physics teacher in California, used episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy to introduce new topics. He found that starting a lesson with one of Bill's entertaining segments piqued his students' interest and prepared them for the more detailed lectures that followed. The combination of fun and education made his classes more effective and enjoyable. Bill Nye's influence also extended to future scientists and engineers. Many college students who grew up watching the show credited it with sparking their interest in science. They remembered Bill's excitement and enthusiasm and wanted to pursue careers where they could explore and discover new things. Universities often invited Bill to speak at graduations and other events, where he encouraged students to stay curious and keep learning. One of Bill's most memorable speeches was at a graduation ceremony at MIT. He stood before a crowd of eager graduates and shared his journey from engineering to television. He spoke about the importance of curiosity, perseverance, and the joy of discovery. His words resonated with the students, many of whom had grown up watching his show. They saw in Bill a role model who had made learning fun and had shown that science could be exciting and accessible. As Bill Nye the Science Guy continued to air, its impact only grew. Bill received countless letters and emails from fans, sharing their stories of how the show had inspired them. Parents thanked him for making science interesting for their children. Students shared how the show had helped them with their homework and science projects. Teachers expressed their gratitude for providing a valuable educational tool. Bill Nye's show left a lasting legacy in the world of science education. It showed that with creativity, humor, and passion, it was possible to make learning fun and engaging. Bill's unique approach to teaching science broke down barriers and made complex concepts accessible to everyone. He inspired a generation to be curious, to ask questions, and to explore the wonders of the world around them. Through Bill Nye the Science Guy, Bill Nye proved that science could be entertaining and that anyone could be a scientist. His show made a lasting impact on education and popular culture, inspiring countless individuals to pursue their passions and make a difference in the world. As Bill looked back on the success of his show, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment and excitement for the future. He knew that the seeds of curiosity he had planted would continue to grow and flourish for generations to come. Bill Nye the Science Guy had a profound impact on education and popular culture. Through engaging and fun science content, Bill Nye inspired teachers, students, and future scientists. His show made science accessible and exciting, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to inspire curiosity and learning around the world. Chapter 7. Advocacy for Science Education. After the success of Bill Nye the Science Guy, Bill Nye became a well-known figure in the world of science education. He realized that he could use his fame to do more than just entertain. He could advocate for better science education and inspire even more people to love science. This new chapter in his life would take him beyond the television screen and into classrooms, conferences, and even the halls of government. Bill began his journey as a science advocate by speaking at schools across the country. He wanted to meet students face to face and share his passion for science. His talks were full of energy, just like his TV show. He brought along experiments and demonstrations to make his points clear. Whether he was explaining the principles of flight with paper airplanes or showing how chemicals react with simple household items, Bill made sure his presentations were interactive and fun. One memorable visit was to a middle school in rural Montana. The students were excited to meet Bill Nye in person. They had watched his show in their science classes and were eager to learn more. Bill talked about the importance of curiosity and asking questions. He showed them how to make a simple rocket using baking soda and vinegar. The students cheered as the rocket soared into the air. After the presentation, many students stayed behind to ask questions and take pictures. Bill was thrilled to see their enthusiasm. Bill also started writing books to reach a wider audience. His first book, Bill Nye the Science Guy's Big Blast of Science, was a hit. It was full of fun experiments and easy-to-understand explanations of scientific concepts. Bill wrote in a friendly and engaging style, just like he spoke on his show. The book became a favorite among kids and parents alike. Encouraged by the success of his first book, Bill wrote more. Titles like Bill Nye's Great Big World of Science and Unstoppable Harnessing Science to Change the World followed. Each book covered different topics, from the basics of biology and physics to the challenges of climate change. Bill wanted to show that science wasn't just something you learned in school, it was a way of understanding and improving the world. Bill's advocacy didn't stop with books and school visits. He became involved with several educational organizations. He joined the board of directors at the Planetary Society, a non-profit organization dedicated to the exploration of space. Founded by Carl Sagan, the society aimed to inspire the public about the wonders of space and support scientific research. As CEO of the Planetary Society, Bill worked tirelessly to promote space exploration. He believed that studying the universe could lead to incredible discoveries and inspire future generations. He supported missions to explore planets and moons, and he advocated for more funding for space research. Bill often spoke about the importance of dreaming big and pushing the boundaries of what we know. Bill also became a passionate advocate for addressing climate change. He saw the impact that global warming was having on the planet and wanted to raise awareness about the issue. He participated in debates, gave speeches, and appeared on television programs to discuss the science behind climate change. Bill used his platform to explain how human activities were affecting the environment and what could be done to reduce our carbon footprint. One of Bill's most significant contributions to climate change awareness was his participation in the documentary Climate Change: The Facts. In the film, he explained the science of global warming and its effects on the Earth. He also highlighted the urgent need for action to prevent further damage. The documentary reached millions of viewers and sparked important conversations about the future of our planet. Bill's efforts to promote science education also led him to work with government officials. He believed that policymakers needed to understand science to make informed decisions. Bill testified before Congress on several occasions, speaking about the importance of science funding and education. He urged lawmakers to support scientific research and invest in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs in schools. One of his most impactful testimonies was about the importance of climate science. Bill stood before a panel of lawmakers and explained how climate change was affecting weather patterns, sea levels, and ecosystems. He used clear, simple language to make his points, just as he did on his show. Bill's testimony helped raise awareness among policymakers about the urgency of addressing climate change. Bill also participated in the March for Science, a global event that took place in 2017. The march brought together scientists, educators, and citizens to advocate for science-based policies and funding. Bill was a prominent speaker at the event in Washington, D.C. He stood on the stage, surrounded by thousands of supporters, and spoke passionately about the importance of science in society. His message was clear: science is essential for progress, and we must support it. Throughout his advocacy work, Bill remained committed to making science fun and accessible. He believed that everyone could understand and appreciate science if it was presented in the right way. Whether he was speaking to a room full of students, writing a book, or testifying before Congress, Bill used humor, creativity, and clear explanations to get his message across. Bill Nye's advocacy for science education has made a lasting impact. He has inspired countless individuals to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. His efforts have raised awareness about important issues like climate change and space exploration. Most importantly, Bill has shown that science is for everyone, and that understanding the world around us can be both exciting and empowering. As Bill looks to the future, he continues to find new ways to promote science education. He is always thinking about how to reach more people and inspire them to be curious and ask questions. Whether through new TV shows, books, or public speaking, Bill Nye remains dedicated to his mission of making science fun, accessible, and meaningful for all. Bill Nye's efforts to promote science education extend far beyond his television show. Through public speaking, writing books, and working with educational organizations, he has inspired a love for science in people of all ages. His advocacy for space exploration and climate change awareness has had a significant impact, showing that science is essential for understanding and improving our world. Chapter 8: Environmental Advocacy. Bill Nye had always cared deeply about the environment. His fascination with the natural world started when he was a child, exploring the forests and streams near his home. As he grew older, he became more aware of the problems facing our planet. Climate change, pollution, and deforestation were becoming serious threats. Bill knew he had to do something to help protect the Earth. Bill's interest in environmental issues grew stronger as he learned more about science. He realized that human activities were having a big impact on the planet. Factories were releasing harmful gases into the air, cars were burning fossil fuels, and forests were being cut down. All these actions were contributing to climate change, making the Earth warmer and causing extreme weather. Bill started talking about these issues on his show, Bill Nye the Science Guy. He explained how climate change worked and why it was important to take care of the environment. He showed simple experiments that demonstrated the effects of greenhouse gases and global warming. These episodes helped kids and adults understand the science behind climate change and the importance of protecting the environment. As his popularity grew, Bill decided to take his message beyond the TV screen. He began participating in environmental campaigns and speaking at events around the world. One of his most memorable speeches was at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Standing before world leaders and scientists, Bill spoke passionately about the need to take action against climate change. He emphasized that the science was clear, the planet was warming, and human activities were the main cause. Science is not something to believe or not believe, Bill said. It's a tool. It tells us what's happening and what we need to do to fix it. Bill also became a strong advocate for renewable energy. He believed that switching to clean energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower was essential for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. He visited solar farms and wind turbines, showing how they worked and how they could help reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. He often talked about the potential of renewable energy to create jobs and boost the economy while also protecting the environment. To reach even more people, Bill appeared in several documentaries about climate change and renewable energy. One of the most notable was Climate Change: The Facts, a documentary that explained the science of climate change and its effects on the Earth. In the film, Bill traveled to different parts of the world, showing how climate change was impacting communities. He visited melting glaciers, drying rivers, and areas affected by severe storms. These real-life examples helped viewers understand the urgency of the problem. In addition to documentaries, Bill used social media to spread his message. He posted videos and articles about climate change, renewable energy, and other environmental issues. His posts reached millions of people, sparking conversations and encouraging action. Bill knew that social media was a powerful tool for raising awareness and motivating people to make changes in their own lives. One campaign that Bill was particularly passionate about was the March for Science. This event took place in 2017 and brought together scientists, educators, and citizens to advocate for science-based policies and funding. Bill was a prominent speaker at the march in Washington, D.C. He stood on the stage, surrounded by thousands of supporters, and spoke about the importance of science in solving global challenges. "Science is the best idea we've ever had," Bill said. "It's how we understand the world and make it better. We need to support science and use it to protect our planet." Bill's environmental advocacy also led him to work with government officials. He testified before Congress on several occasions, speaking about the importance of addressing climate change. He used clear, simple language to explain the science and the need for action. His testimonies helped raise awareness among policymakers and urged them to support environmental protection measures. One of Bill's key messages was the importance of education in solving environmental problems. He believed that teaching people about science and the environment was crucial for creating a sustainable future. He worked with schools and educational organizations to develop programs that taught kids about climate change, renewable energy, and conservation. He wanted to inspire the next generation to take care of the planet and find innovative solutions to environmental challenges. In his own life, Bill practiced what he preached. He made changes to reduce his carbon footprint, like using energy-efficient appliances, driving an electric car, and reducing waste. He also supported organizations that worked to protect the environment, donating time and money to their efforts. Bill believed that everyone could make a difference, no matter how small their actions might seem. Bill's dedication to environmental advocacy earned him recognition and respect around the world. He received awards for his work and was invited to speak at prestigious events. But for Bill, the real reward was seeing the impact of his efforts. He was proud to know that he was helping to raise awareness and inspire action to protect the Earth. Through his speeches, documentaries, and campaigns, Bill Nye showed that science could be a powerful tool for change. He demonstrated that by understanding the science behind environmental issues, we could find solutions and make a positive impact. Bill's work reminded people that protecting the planet was not just a scientific challenge, but a moral one. It was about ensuring a healthy and sustainable future for all living things. As Bill continued his advocacy, he remained hopeful. He believed that with enough effort and determination, people could come together to tackle climate change and build a better world. He encouraged everyone to stay curious, stay informed, and take action. For Bill Nye, the mission to protect the environment was ongoing, and he was committed to seeing it through. Bill Nye's work in environmental advocacy highlighted the importance of science in understanding and solving global challenges. Through public speaking, documentaries, and campaigns, he raised awareness about climate change and renewable energy. His efforts inspired many to take action and work towards a sustainable future, proving that science could drive positive change for the planet. Chapter 9. Bill Nye in Popular Media. Bill Nye's influence extended far beyond his television show. As Bill Nye the Science Guy gained popularity, Bill became a prominent figure in various media outlets. His charisma and ability to explain complex scientific concepts in simple terms made him a sought-after guest on TV shows, podcasts, and even in debates on scientific topics. One of Bill's earliest appearances outside his own show was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Bill was invited to demonstrate some of his favorite experiments. He arrived at the studio with a suitcase full of props, eager to share the wonders of science with a larger audience. During the segment, Bill showed how a balloon could be inflated using baking soda and vinegar. The audience was fascinated by the chemical reaction, and Jay Leno couldn't stop smiling. Bill's enthusiasm was infectious, and the segment was a hit. Bill's knack for making science fun and understandable soon led to more invitations. He appeared on popular daytime talk shows like The Ellen DeGeneres Show and Good Morning America. Each time he brought new experiments and a fresh perspective on science topics. On Ellen's show, Bill demonstrated the power of static electricity by making a can roll across the floor without touching it. The audience was amazed, and Ellen joked that Bill was like a real-life wizard. These appearances helped cement Bill's reputation as a science communicator who could entertain and educate at the same time. In addition to TV appearances, Bill Nye also became a popular guest on podcasts. He appeared on shows like Star Talk Radio, hosted by astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. On these podcasts, Bill discussed a wide range of topics, from climate change to space exploration. His conversations with Neil were always engaging and filled with humor. They often debated scientific ideas and shared their passion for making science accessible to everyone. Listeners loved the dynamic between the two scientists and appreciated the way they broke down complex topics into understandable and enjoyable discussions. Bill's ability to explain science also made him a frequent guest on news programs. He appeared on CNN, MSNBC, and other networks to talk about current scientific issues. Whether discussing the latest discoveries in space or the impact of climate change, Bill always provided clear and concise explanations. He used everyday language and relatable examples, ensuring that viewers could easily grasp the concepts. His appearances helped bridge the gap between scientific communities and the general public. One of Bill's most notable moments in popular media was his debate with Ken Ham, a prominent creationist, at the Creation Museum in Kentucky. The debate focused on the topic of evolution versus creationism. Bill argued in favor of evolution, using scientific evidence to support his points. He explained how fossils, genetics, and other scientific findings provided a clear picture of how life on Earth had evolved over millions of years. Ken Ham, on the other hand, argued from a creationist perspective, stating that the Earth was only a few thousand years old and that all life was created as described in the Bible. The debate attracted a large audience, both in person and online. People were eager to see how Bill Nye, a respected science educator, would handle the controversial topic. Bill prepared meticulously, making sure he had all the necessary facts and data to support his arguments. During the debate, he remained calm and respectful, even when faced with challenging questions. He used visuals and clear explanations to make his case, emphasizing the importance of evidence-based science. The debate lasted for several hours and sparked widespread discussion. While it didn't change the minds of everyone watching, it did raise awareness about the importance of scientific literacy and critical thinking. Bill's performance was praised for its clarity and professionalism. He showed that it was possible to have a respectful and meaningful discussion on even the most contentious topics. Bill Nye's presence in popular media wasn't limited to debates and talk shows. He also made cameo appearances in movies and TV series. One memorable appearance was in the sitcom The Big Bang Theory. Bill played himself, much to the delight of the show's science-loving audience. In the episode, he shared a scene with the character Sheldon Cooper, a quirky physicist who idolized Bill. The interaction was both funny and heartwarming, highlighting Bill's influence on pop culture and his ability to connect with fans. Bill also lent his voice to animated shows, providing educational content in a fun and engaging way. He voiced a science teacher in the children's series The Magic School Bus Rides Again, helping to explain scientific concepts to young viewers. His distinctive voice and enthusiasm made the lessons memorable and enjoyable for kids. Beyond entertainment, Bill used his media presence to advocate for science education and environmental issues. He appeared on public service announcements and documentaries, urging people to take action on climate change and support renewable energy. His participation in the documentary Bill Nye Science Guy provided an in-depth look at his life, career, and advocacy work. The film followed Bill as he travelled the world, spreading the message of science and fighting against misinformation. Bill's work in popular media had a significant impact. He reached millions of people, inspiring curiosity and a love for science. He used his platform to educate the public on important issues, from space exploration to climate change. His ability to communicate effectively and entertain made him a beloved figure in both the scientific community and popular culture. As Bill Nye continued to appear in various media outlets, his mission remained the same: to make science accessible, engaging, and relevant to everyone. He believed that understanding science was crucial for making informed decisions and solving global challenges. Through his appearances on TV shows, podcasts, debates, and more, Bill Nye showed that science could be fun, exciting, and an essential part of our everyday lives. Bill Nye's appearances in popular media showcased his unique ability to entertain and educate simultaneously. Through TV shows, podcasts, debates, and cameos, he reached a wide audience, promoting scientific literacy and raising awareness about important issues. His work demonstrated the power of media to inspire curiosity and a love for science in people of all ages. Chapter 10. Recent Projects. Bill Nye never stopped exploring new ways to share his love for science. Even after the success of Bill Nye the Science Guy, he continued to work on exciting new projects. One of his most notable recent endeavors was his show Bill Nye Saves the World, which premiered on Netflix in 2017. Bill Nye Saves the World was different from his earlier show. While Bill Nye the Science Guy was aimed at children, this new show was for an older audience. It tackled serious and sometimes controversial topics like climate change, vaccines, and artificial intelligence. Bill wanted to address these issues because they were important for the future of our planet and society. Each episode of Bill Nye Saves the World focused on a specific topic. Bill invited experts to discuss the science behind the issues and explain why they mattered. He used experiments, interviews, and even comedy sketches to make the information engaging and understandable. One episode, for example, explored the science of climate change. Bill explained how greenhouse gases trapped heat in the atmosphere and how this affected the planet. He also discussed solutions like renewable energy and energy conservation. Bill's new show was well received by viewers and critics. People appreciated his straightforward approach and his ability to make complex topics accessible. Bill Nye Saves the World sparked discussions and encouraged viewers to think critically about the issues presented. Bill was proud of the show because it allowed him to reach a new generation and inspire them to care about science and the environment. In addition to his television work, Bill continued his involvement with the Planetary Society. As CEO, he led the organization in its mission to explore space and promote space science. The Planetary Society worked on various projects, including advocating for space missions and educating the public about the importance of space exploration. One of the Planetary Society's most ambitious projects was the Light Sail program. The goal was to demonstrate that a spacecraft could travel using only the power of sunlight. The idea was to deploy a large reflective sail that would catch photons from the sun, propelling the spacecraft forward. This concept, known as solar sailing, had the potential to revolutionize space travel by providing a way to travel without using fuel. Bill was excited about the LightSail project. He believed it could open up new possibilities for exploring the solar system and beyond. In 2015, the Planetary Society successfully launched LightSail 1, a small test spacecraft. The mission demonstrated that the sail could be deployed and controlled in space. It was a significant achievement, and Bill was thrilled with the results. The success of LightSail 1 led to the development of LightSail 2, a more advanced version of the spacecraft. LightSail 2 launched in 2019 and successfully demonstrated controlled solar sailing in orbit. The mission was a milestone for the Planetary Society and for space exploration. Bill's passion and leadership had helped make it possible. Bill also used his platform to advocate for science education and environmental awareness. He gave talks at schools, universities, and conferences, sharing his knowledge and enthusiasm for science. He wrote articles and appeared on podcasts, continuing to reach people through various media. His message was always clear. Science is essential for understanding and solving the challenges we face. One memorable event was his appearance at the March for Science in 2017. The march took place in cities around the world, bringing together scientists, educators, and citizens to support science and evidence-based policies. Bill was one of the keynote speakers at the march in Washington, D.C. He stood on the steps of the Capitol building and addressed the crowd. "We are marching today to remind everyone that science is important," Bill said. "Science helps us understand the world and make it better. We need to support science and use it to solve problems like climate change and disease." The crowd cheered, and Bill felt a surge of hope. He believed that events like the March for Science could inspire people to value science and take action to protect the planet. He was proud to be part of a movement that championed science and reason. Bill also continued to work on projects that combined his love for science and entertainment. He appeared as a guest star on popular TV shows like The Big Bang Theory and Dancing with the Stars. These appearances allowed him to reach new audiences and share his passion for science in fun and unexpected ways. In The Big Bang Theory, Bill played himself, much to the delight of the show's science-loving fans. In Dancing with the Stars, he showed that even a scientist could have fun dancing. Although he didn't win the competition, he enjoyed the experience and appreciated the opportunity to connect with viewers. Bill's recent projects reflected his commitment to making science accessible and engaging. Whether through his Netflix show, his work with the Planetary Society, or his public speaking, he continued to inspire curiosity and learning. He believed that understanding science was essential for addressing global challenges and building a better future. As Bill looked to the future, he remained optimistic. He knew that there were still many problems to solve and discoveries to be made. He was excited about the potential of new technologies and the possibilities of space exploration. He believed that with hard work, creativity, and a dedication to science, we could overcome obstacles and achieve great things. Bill Nye's journey from science guy to science advocate showed that passion and knowledge could make a difference. His work continued to inspire and educate, encouraging people of all ages to explore the wonders of science. As he moved forward, Bill remained committed to his mission of making the world a better place through science and education. Bill Nye's recent projects, including Bill Nye Saves the World, and his work with the Planetary Society showcased his ongoing dedication to science education and advocacy. Through television, space exploration, and public speaking, he continued to inspire curiosity and promote the importance of science in addressing global challenges. His efforts demonstrated that science could be both exciting and essential for building a better future. Chapter 11. Personal Life and Interests. Bill Nye, known to many as the Science Guy, is more than just a scientist and TV personality. Behind his public persona, Bill has a rich personal life filled with hobbies, interests, and a unique philosophy that guides him. This chapter explores these aspects, providing a more intimate look at the man who has inspired so many to love science. Bill's curiosity about the world extends beyond science. He has a wide range of hobbies that keep him engaged and active. One of his favorite activities is hiking. Bill loves being outdoors and exploring nature. He often takes long hikes in the mountains, enjoying the fresh air and the beauty of the natural world. These hikes give him time to think and reflect, away from the hustle and bustle of city life. During one of his hikes in the Pacific Northwest, Bill discovered a hidden waterfall. The sound of the rushing water and the sight of the cascading falls filled him with a sense of wonder. He sat by the waterfall for hours, just watching and listening. This experience reminded him of the importance of preserving nature and inspired him to continue his work in environmental advocacy. Bill also has a passion for music. He plays the guitar and enjoys listening to a wide variety of genres, from classical to rock. Music, for Bill, is a way to relax and unwind. He often plays his guitar in the evenings, strumming tunes and sometimes making up his own songs. Music allows him to express his creativity in a different way and brings him joy. In addition to hiking and music, Bill loves to cook. He enjoys experimenting with new recipes and trying different cuisines. Cooking is another way for him to explore science, as it involves chemistry and creativity. Bill often invites friends over for dinner, where he serves dishes he has prepared himself. These gatherings are a time for good food, laughter, and lively conversations about science and life. Bill's personal philosophy centers on curiosity and lifelong learning. He believes that everyone should stay curious and keep asking questions. This philosophy has guided him throughout his life and career. Bill often says that curiosity is the key to understanding the world and making discoveries. He encourages people of all ages to never stop learning and to always seek knowledge. One of the ways Bill practices his philosophy is through reading. He is an avid reader and has a large collection of books on various topics, including science, history, and literature. Bill believes that reading broadens the mind and provides new perspectives. He often recommends books to his friends and followers, sharing his love for reading and learning. Bill also enjoys spending time with his family and friends. He values these relationships and makes sure to stay connected with the people he cares about. Despite his busy schedule, he always finds time to visit his family and catch up with old friends. These moments are precious to him, providing support and grounding. One of Bill's most cherished relationships is with his father, Edwin Nye. Edwin was a World War II veteran and an inventor. He played a significant role in shaping Bill's interest in science. Edwin's stories about his time as a prisoner of war and his inventive spirit inspired Bill to pursue a career in science and engineering. Bill often reflects on the lessons his father taught him about resilience, creativity, and the importance of perseverance. Bill's mother, Jacqueline Jenkins Nye, also had a profound impact on his life. She was a codebreaker during World War II, working on the Enigma code. Her intelligence and dedication to her work showed Bill the importance of hard work and critical thinking. Bill is proud of his parents' contributions and often shares their stories as a way to honor their legacy. In his personal life, Bill is known for his sense of humor and positive attitude. He believes that laughter is an essential part of life and tries to find humor in everyday situations. This outlook has helped him stay optimistic and resilient, even when facing challenges. His friends often describe him as fun-loving and kind-hearted, always ready to share a joke or a smile. Bill's personal interests also include supporting educational initiatives. He is involved in various organizations that promote science education and inspire young minds. Bill believes that education is the foundation for a better future and is passionate about giving back to the community. He often visits schools, participates in science fairs, and mentors young students who are interested in science and engineering. One of the projects Bill is particularly proud of is the development of educational programs for underprivileged children. He has worked with several non-profit organizations to create science workshops and provide resources for schools in low-income areas. Bill wants to ensure that every child has the opportunity to explore science and discover their potential. Bill's dedication to education and his love for science have earned him numerous awards and recognitions. However, he remains humble and focused on his mission. For Bill, the greatest reward is seeing the spark of curiosity in a child's eyes, or hearing from someone who was inspired by his work. These moments remind him why he does what he does and motivate him to keep going. As Bill looks to the future, he continues to seek new ways to inspire and educate. He is always working on new projects, whether it's writing a book, developing a new show, or exploring new scientific ideas. His passion for science and his commitment to making the world a better place drive him forward. Chapter 12. Legacy and Future Vision. Bill Nye's journey from a curious child to a renowned science educator has left a lasting legacy. His passion for science and his unique ability to make complex topics simple and fun have inspired countless people around the world. As we look back at his achievements, it is clear that Bill Nye has made a significant impact on science communication and education. One of Bill's most important contributions is his work as the Science Guy. The TV show Bill Nye the Science Guy introduced millions of children to the wonders of science. Through his experiments, humor, and engaging explanations, Bill made science accessible and exciting. Many of those children grew up to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. They often credit Bill for sparking their interest in these fields. A young scientist named Maria once shared her story at a conference. As a child, she struggled with science in school. It seemed boring and difficult. Then one day, her teacher showed an episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy. For the first time, science made sense to her. She loved how Bill explained things and made learning fun. Maria went on to become a biochemist, and she always remembered the impact Bill's show had on her. Bill's influence extends beyond individual careers. His work has helped change the way science is taught in schools. Teachers across the country use his methods and materials to make their lessons more engaging. Bill's hands-on approach and emphasis on curiosity have become a model for effective science education. He showed that learning can be fun and interactive, inspiring a new generation of educators to adopt similar techniques. In addition to his TV shows, Bill has written numerous books that continue to educate and inspire. His books cover a wide range of topics, from basic science concepts to complex issues like climate change. They are written in a clear, accessible style, making them popular with readers of all ages. Bill's books have won awards and are used as educational resources in many schools. Bill's legacy is also evident in his public advocacy for science and the environment. He has used his platform to raise awareness about critical issues like climate change and renewable energy. His efforts have brought these topics into the public eye, encouraging people to think about the future of our planet. Bill's advocacy has inspired many to take action, from reducing their carbon footprint to supporting policies that protect the environment. One memorable moment was Bill's speech at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. He spoke passionately about the need to address global warming. He explained the science behind climate change and urged world leaders to take immediate action. Bill's speech was widely covered in the media and sparked important conversations about environmental responsibility. Looking to the future, Bill has a clear vision for science and education. He believes that scientific literacy is crucial for solving the world's problems. He envisions a society where everyone has a basic understanding of science and can make informed decisions. Bill is committed to working towards this goal by continuing his work in education and advocacy. One of Bill's key priorities is improving science education in underserved communities. He believes that every child, regardless of their background, should have access to quality education. Bill is involved in several initiatives that provide resources and support to schools in low-income areas. He hopes to inspire more students to pursue STEM careers and help close the education gap. Bill also sees the potential of technology to revolutionize education. He is excited about the possibilities of virtual reality, online learning, and other digital tools. These technologies can make education more accessible and personalized. Bill envisions a future where students around the world can learn science through immersive experiences and interactive platforms. He is actively exploring ways to integrate these technologies into his educational programs. Another important aspect of Bill's vision is fostering a sense of global citizenship. He believes that science can unite people and help solve global challenges. By understanding the science behind issues like climate change, pandemics, and resource management, people can work together to find solutions. Bill advocates for international collaboration and believes that young people, in particular, have the power to drive positive change. Bill's work with the Planetary Society reflects this global perspective. As CEO, he has promoted the exploration of space as a way to inspire curiosity and innovation. He believes that space exploration can lead to important discoveries and advancements in technology. Bill's passion for space has inspired many to look beyond our planet and consider the possibilities of the universe. Throughout his career, Bill has shown that science is not just a subject in school, but a way of understanding the world. He has encouraged people to be curious, ask questions, and seek knowledge. Bill's legacy is not just in his achievements, but in the countless minds he has inspired. He has made science accessible, exciting, and relevant. leaving a lasting impact on education and society. As we look to the future, Bill Nye's vision for science and education is more important than ever. The challenges we face, from climate change to technological advancements, require a scientifically literate society. Bill's work reminds us that science can provide the tools we need to address these issues and build a better future. Bill Nye's legacy is a testament to the power of education and the impact one person can have. He has inspired generations to embrace science, pursue knowledge, and make a difference. As we continue to explore and discover, Bill's influence will be felt for years to come. His vision for a world where everyone understands and values science is a goal we can all strive towards, guided by his example and inspired by his passion.